it appears we'll have an update on what happened in Iowa in the Iowa caucus and who won. But we will have that update at 5 o'clock. And it'll only be 50% of the results. I'm not kidding. So this is what's coming out of the Iowa Democratic Party. It's being reported that the Iowa Democratic Party, in a call with the candidates' campaigns, has announced it released the majority of the results from the more than 1,700 precincts at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. It is currently 3 p.m., which is when we go with the live show. So, look, by the time this is over, we'll have only 50% of the results. So, well, now what? Wait, why can't we get 100% of the results? What is going on in Iowa? Why is it taking so long? So there's a lot of misinformation going around, including rumors that Joe Biden's team had was filing an injunction to stop the rest of the results from getting out. Now, that is, of course, fueled by the idea that he may be coming in fourth or fifth, which would be disastrous for Joe Biden's campaign and would essentially mean or be a death knell to his campaign. We'll see when the actual official results come out. But then you have, of course, Elizabeth Warren, possibly in third or fourth. And then Pete Buttigieg, I'm guessing, would be at number 2. So, again, we don't know. Buttigieg could be at number 1. We don't have the official results. What we do have, though, is the results of internal polling inside of the campaign. So now Bernie Sanders' campaign released his internal polling ahead at about the final results. Pete Buttigieg is around 25%, but then you had Bernie Sanders around 28, 29%. Now, he would be the clear winner in Iowa. But hey, look at that. Pete Buttigieg, a very strong second, which means he would come away with a lot of the delegates. But more importantly, that would continue the life of his campaign. And so it was very important for Pete Buttigieg to be in the top 2. Now, obviously, being the winner would be the best situation, be the best scenario for him. But sans that, at least being in number 2 would still allow Pete Buttigieg to say that he is a viable candidate and maybe possibly get some of the Biden donors. And so that's kind of what I think this is all about, at least on that. But man, we don't know. Now, Buttigieg released his own numbers earlier, and he was around 25% as well for the final tally. So again, that's the internal numbers. So it's very likely that Bernie Sanders is going to come out with a victory on this. But see, the problem is it's not just about like winning Iowa. There are 41 delegates. Those delegates are obviously important. Every delegate is. But in the total grand scheme of things, it's not quite as important as winning, for example, like Super Tuesday, right? Being the winner there and taking a majority of those delegates. In fact, again, Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg are probably going to come away likely, at least if these internal polls hold, with the same amount of delegates or a similar amount of delegates. And I've also seen reports of coin tosses where, Bernie Sanders had over 100 people, Buttigieg having like 30, and then getting an equal share of delegates. And that's craziness. And if that's true, that's complete and total insanity and not how you're supposed to run an election and apportion delegates fairly. But again, without the official numbers, there's not a whole lot we can do other than speculate. And of course, I've talked about the app failing, the app created by Shadow, which it's almost as bad as Fraud Guarantee. So you're gonna contract a company named Shadow, right, to count election results, and you're gonna do it behind closed doors. Now, there's a report that came out 4 days earlier, which talked about all of this, and it actually didn't get a lot of media attention. In fact, I wasn't even aware of it until recently, and so until about last night when this became incredibly relevant. We had no idea, and they're saying, hey, no, we can't talk about our app that we have developed that they're going to use in Iowa because it would be super unfair to the company, right? It would be super unfair to us. And so we're not talking about. We're not going to give away trade secrets. We're not going to make it easier for, easy for example, foreign government to go and hack into the app and whatever, do whatever with the results. Well, yeah, that kind of blew up in their face. Not the fact that any results are changed, the fact that it's taking so long to get results in the first place, in which it's really important for a candidate post Iowa because this is the first in the nation, and whether you agree with that or not, this is still true. This still holds true that if you win Iowa, the press bump is really, really important because believe it or not, human nature kind of dictates that when you have a winner of a specific race, I'm not talking like race, but like or a contest or an election, whatever, that people tend to side with the winner. And then that draws more attention, that draws more votes to your side, etc. And so not only did Bernie Sanders miss out on that, but if Pete Buttigieg had won, Buttigieg also missed out on that. And now there is a cloud hanging over, once again, any election, any primary going forward. So great. So now we can't trust any of our elections. Now, it's good that Nevada is no longer planning to use this app, but the damage is kind of already done. And now it feels just like 2016 all over again. And so as we await these results, all we can think about is this situation. We've seen this before. We've been here before. It seems like it's either incompetence or shenanigans, but the overall result is the same. We no longer trust the vote. And that, again, is pretty scary. Now, good thing about Iowa is they do have paper ballot backups, so we'll get accurate numbers. But right now, it's just awaiting. I think that's fueling the most speculation and is the worst part about the entire thing. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.